We're starting a new video series. Once in a while, we're gonna cover your guys' picks. You're gonna tell me what you want me to do TA on, and I'm gonna do TA for you. So I picked about 8 or 9 coins that you guys have requested on my Twitter just today, and we're gonna do a video about all of those right now. So let's get started. First one up is Ocean. So I've talked a lot about Ocean in the past. One of my picks on my list, obviously a AI type coin. We saw, as you guys can see, it hit different levels of mining from the past, and now we have had a nice run up. So we look in here, let's go on the daily, let's go closer to what had happened. And we see that 200 EMA held really strong, as well as the other level around 40 cents. I was buying actually down at 32 cents, way back in the first run up that it had. I sold and then I bought back around this level. Obviously it came a little bit lower, but I didn't really care because I was thinking more about the cycle when I'm making those trades. As we can see, our TK cross didn't happen on the daily, but we can use our secondary chart to see where was Ocean going, when should you have entered. So secondary chart tells us when we're in a bull trend, where we get bearish, and then when we can start getting bullish again. So I'll look at the 4 hours, my secondary chart. As we can see, I've talked about this type of trade before. We break out of the Kumo, so we go above the cloud, we retest the top of the cloud, which you can see right here, and then we would enter there because at that time, our Chiku spin was bullish. We did have a bullish TK cross, which happened pretty much almost the exact same day. I would have taken that chance seeing it hook up. And then basically we go above the cloud and we're ready to go. So it would have been an entry around 43 cents. Now we're at 51 cents and it looks quite good. But where will it go to next, coach? That's a great question. Well, we're gonna go anywhere between 54 and 57 cents. So that's where I'd be looking at getting in or getting out potentially for a short term and then going back in when it retraces, or waiting for this level to break right here, right there at around 51 cents. If we break and get a boner candle above there, we could look to enter at 51 and we would be aiming on that trade for that top level around 56, 57 cents. Now here's the problem. With trades like this, I use the Kijinsen as my retracement level. So I would want to go below that. So our risk reward is 1-to-1. I would not enter that trade based off that information alone. But Ocean, if you're in it right now, is a great place to be. I would be patient and just let it ride. If you're not in this one yet, here's what I have to look at. We've had almost 10 days straight green candles. That will eventually come down to a point where it's running out of steam. It could be right now and we could enter potentially at 48 cents on the Kijin bounce, but I would be waiting here for a little bit longer to see what is our next play. If we break out, it could be one that we would hold. If it goes to that 57 cent level, we may want to wait and then buy the retest at 51. Right now is the time where if you're in Ocean, you stay in Ocean. If you're not, don't go for a swim yet. Just wait a second and we'll see how that goes. Now going to Eclipse Fi, it's a new one. It launched. It's on Neuros blockchain, which is part of the Cosmos ecosystem. It's obviously really hard to do TA on something that's brand new. Also, there is token distributions, so keep aware of that. I am an investor in this project to be fully transparent. I have not ever sold the token. I pretty much haven't figured out how to even use Nervos and how to sell on it anyways. But being a Cosmos ecosystem launchpad, as I've told you guys before, launchpads do make great opportunities and great profitability. So we'd look at that, but as there's such small amounts of TA here to actually look at, we can only tell you that there's a range anywhere from 26 all the way up to 47 cents. It's really not had a really big run yet. What I'd be looking for here though is a really easy trade, is I would wait for this Kumo breakout, so get above the cloud on the 4 hour, retest, so somewhere around 32 cents when we get there. If that 200 EMA doesn't hold it down, waiting to buy that retest and then getting in and looking towards that top level, which would be somewhere around 41 cents. We'd have not the best RR on the trade. 2.75 is still very respectable, but we would want to put our stop loss a little bit below our red level, our Kijinsen, because that's usually our area. In this situation, it would probably move up a little bit. So by the time you'd actually enter, it may be 3-hour trade. So that might be a good one to look at, but that's what I'd be looking at with Eclipse. But also remember, the major piece of information here is that there are token vestings coming. And with that, you have to be quite careful. If you're someone who wants to get into the Cosmos ecosystem and you want access to deal flow, this might be a good option for you. Now going into Telos, someone asked about Telos. I see this like super hardcore major resistance right here. Now there's 2 good things about this and 2 bad things. The 2 good things is if we get above that, it has a lot of upside, right? And if we get above that, the upside is extremely higher compared to where the price is right now. We would look at it somewhere at minimum going to 38 cents. And because of how far it is away, anywhere between 38 and 51 cents, and then above that, really it would only go higher somewhere into the dollar range. So that could be a good opportunity there. The bad side is that on the daily, we had a nice Kijun bounce, but it wasn't one that we would have called because it would have been kind of just above the candlestick. So it's kind of an indecision point, and it's coming up to a major resistance, which has bounced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So because it's been bouncing like 10 times in that area, we would look for something to rhyme and repeat. Now, if it doesn't do that, we have an entry point, which would be a retest of this level. It would break above and finally retest it maybe twice and then start going higher. I would look to buy there versus trying to buy now and it getting caught into the into the resistance right there. If you do enter on that retest though, something like this could be a good option where you'd be looking at taking one profit at around 38 and the next one around 51.5. So that would be a good risk reward. It gives you a lot of space and leniency in terms of like if you enter, your stop loss will be quite far away from where your starting point is, and likely this will hook up a little bit further if it happens. So you might even be able to have even a little bit more space and even a higher return on your assets. And even if you're doing a short-term trade, 2.95R again is a respectable one. So Telos looks pretty good, but also could be very bad. Be patient, wait for that either to break back down and enter on the top of the Kumo, somewhere around 20 cents, or wait for that to break out and get the retest. And obviously this is what we call an SR level where it's acted as resistance a lot. We want to see it turn into support. Now it would tell us, okay, now it's good to go higher. Next up, KDA, one of my bear market picks. We were buying it way down. People are making fun of me saying, oh my God, haha, coach, la haha, you're so dumb. All right, so KDA had a massive run up last cycle. I was talking about this just the other day, maybe even today on the other video. And so now this could go much higher again, but we have some resistance around that $1.43 level. And on the daily chart, we're kind of like in a no man's land type position. Kijun's still under, or Chiku is still underneath the candlesticks. We haven't had a TK crosses, but we're inside we're inside of the cloud. That's all kind of things where I just not do anything. I kind of let that ride and play out. Let's go down to the 4-hour secondary chart to see what it looks like and where the opportunity is. So on the 4-hour chart, we're still kind of inside the candlesticks. I would be looking for, on the 4-hour chart, if I was looking for more in the short term, I'd look for us to break out of this level right around here. So we'd be waiting for that $1.51, and then if it broke out and retest, then we'd be looking a little bit higher up into the $1.40 range. You can go back here and see that's kind of where the top of our Kijun is, which is a level of resistance right now. So I'd be sitting out and waiting for KDA. One of the ones that I like and love so much is Link. It broke out to the upside finally after about 3 weeks, just kind of trying to break around $16, $17. We broke out of that level, and now we're kind of flagging a bit, and we're waiting to see, can we go up to the next level? And the next level, as much as you may not think about it, is either between right here in this level right there, which would be about 24 bucks. This $24 level right around here, or a little bit higher around $27, $28, somewhere in this range, and then up towards 31, and then much higher at 35. So Link is probably going to do a 5x from here in this cycle. It should go to 3 digits. It's got the CCIP and all that great stuff. It did go to that $5 range, that golden pocket that I drew in the past. What would you be doing here now is basically either waiting for this to come back down and retest, which would be somewhere around $17. That may not happen with Bitcoin being so bullish, but if you're patient, it will probably come back to that point, because when we rip through a level, we usually retest the level. And even if I move this all the way up here, could that be the breakout level? I don't really think so. I think we would keep it somewhere in this range over here, just based off where the other levels are. Maybe it did retest, maybe it didn't. Depends on how you draw your chart. But for me personally, I think it might come back and retest at least that level. It had a fake out break on the past. I'd be watching for that. If you are in it, I would ride this. If we have a flat Kijun for quite some time, if it flattens out, likely the price will pull back down to it the same way as when we got a flat Kijun here and the price pulled back into it. Now, we don't have a guarantee, but Link looks okay from here on in. Near Protocol, similar type of situation. It's kind of like it's tested this level of resistance in the almost the $4.60 range. Now it's come back down and had a nice little retracement. It retraced all the way 50%, just a little bit less than 50%. That 50% retrace level is key. Now it looks kind of bearish, bullish all at the same time. Let's go down to the 4-hour chart and see what it looks like. So on the 4-hour chart, it actually looks quite good. 4-hour chart, we can see that we had a bullish TK cross way down here. We didn't really get it in the right time, so we wouldn't have entered there, but you know, we're above the cloud. The Tenkin's acting as support with a 21 EMA. We need to break that $3.46 level, and then we can look at where will it go higher next. So that's what I'd be looking for right here, and I'll be waiting patiently for it to break that level out, and then we'd be looking somewhere in this range of $3.78 and probably a lot higher because we're just using the 4 hours, so it's not really as accurate as the dailies. So one thing you have to remember, and one really important piece to keep in mind, is when you go lower on the time frames, your accuracy does drop off immensely. We get whipped out of positions. Keep that in mind. This is why I use the daily. I like to be right more than wrong, don't you? But of course, some things like that, you know, have good. There's good and bad to everything. Now we look at ICP. Someone was asking about that. Actually, I had a person in my group go, "What is ICP added value?" Well, it costs millions of dollars to put stuff on ETH, but on ICP it costs cents. Or maybe $1, but it costs $1 million to put tons of information on Ethereum, so that's not really realistic. So ICP lets you do that for much cheaper. Now at this level it's at right now, it's at a breakout level, meaning if it goes above where it is right this moment, A, it's got a bullish chart, not perfectly bullish, but close enough. B, if we break above and go higher here, we'll be into seeing the Chiku span go above here. We'll have a TK cross that happened here. We're above the cloud. We have all the signs of things going well. So what we would wait for is that clear indication that it broke out, come back down, and we would enter right on that retest. So the retest, we'd look right around here. I would be looking to stop out just a little bit below the red levels. Let me just zoom in here. I'd be looking to stop out just a little bit below. So give yourself a little bit of room from the flat Kijin. You know, this one probably you can do even a little bit lower so you don't get wicked out from those long wicks like you see here. And then you'd be aiming for that $22 level. So you'd be doing like a 5.27R. And why is it that level? Well, look, the worst case is going to go to 19 bucks, like in between 19 and $20. And the real like support SR level is actually 22.50. So even if we only went to $20, you're still at a 3.86R. It's a great trade to take if we break out of this range. So make sure that you do not enter unless we break out of that range, because if you go into it early right now, it's at resistance and it can come right back down. You get wicked out. If it breaks above, clearly you wait for that retest, you go in. This would be a nice trade for anyone to look at. Next up is Parsiq. Now I haven't done anything on Parsiq at all. This is a fresh chart for me, so I'm gonna have to look and see what we're seeing here. Now, what I do see is an SR level very clearly right around here. So that 23-cent range is definitely an SR level. Our support levels, let's just find them here. Somewhere around here, that's another SR level, kind of, not perfectly, but somewhere in this range right there, just doing it quickly. And then we'll look at the chart and see on the daily what we're looking at. So we did have a bullish, almost a Kijin bounce here. Didn't hit it yet. We have a 3 insight up on the daily, but not really off of a support level. We have lots of these wicks that go up to this level. And you see that wick went all the way up to 23 cents before. It's kind of an indication of where we'll go back to. So we have bullish sign here. We had a bullish TK cross. We're above the candlesticks a little bit, which is still technically bullish. So this goes higher. That may be a great trade. And if it does come back down and retest, we could enter on that. So I'd be looking to enter personally. If it comes down there again, I would put my stop loss right around here. I'd be aiming for that 23-cent range, and that's a 10-hour trade. So even if we want to be even more cautious, we can come all the way down here, and it's still a 6.9-hour trade. Great opportunity for someone if they're looking at Parsiq. Not ready yet, so be patient and wait for it. Last but not least, I had a lot of people ask about Creo. The chart looks kind of sketch, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Like the volume's there, but just these candlesticks, it looks really kind of artificial. You know, if we look at all of our other charts on the daily, they don't look so artificial. You can see like kind of a dump down super hard, but never had a huge candle of dump. And then it kind of pumped and it dumped more and it dumped more. And then it kind of bottomed out way down here. It took a long time for it to do that. Now it's started going back up. So what we can see is it's gone into price discovery, which is great. The chart looks now, unlike before, it looks healthy and real. Before it didn't. So I'd be cautious on that just because of that alone. I would be like kind of hesitant to enter in that. Just be really frank with you guys. And then we break into price discovery again. We'll be somewhere around 15 cents. So it could definitely 2x from where it's at right now. I am seeing bearish signs on the daily. On the 4-hour chart, I am seeing signs of it like kind of slowed down and it's going sideways. I'd be just waiting for this one. I don't really know what this project is or what it does, so I can't really give you a very in-depth view on it. I just think that the way it looked before, the way the chart set up is kind of sketchy, and because of that alone, I would be asking myself, why does it look like this and why is it so artificial? There's something off with what I'm seeing there, and I've looked at a lot of charts in my life. Now, recently it looks okay, but again, whatever it does, I don't know, so it's hard for me to give you a really strong opinion. I can see that, you know, if it did come back again to this 6-cent range, that you could go up to 15 cents from there. I'm seeing on the daily a lot of confusion inside the candles, a lot of confusion inside of the chart. So I would avoid this one for now. Osaka, oh my Osaka, my meme coin of the cycle. Everyone asked me about this one, kept saying, Coach, where's it going next? How is it gonna do? Osaka is from the founders of Shiba. Simple as that. Do I need to say more? These guys told me this is their last great hurrah. I'm going to turn off the Ichimoku just on this one so you can see it a little bit clearer. The levels have been respected. I called this at 1711. What we're seeing now is it breaking out into price discovery. This is one that I would not bet against, I can tell you that. And if it comes back down and retest this level, it's going to go much higher. So I would be watching for Osaka for sure. Not just because who's involved with it, but because of what they did last cycle. We can go to the low, we can go back to the high, and we can come back down and see where we've gone. I'm looking at somewhere next would be around 10,300, and then we'd be looking at after that around 16,048. I don't think it's going to stop there though. We'll be looking at around 22,005. So those would be the levels that I would keep my eyes on next, and that's a long ways away if we get here. Still a couple 100% at least. And if you guys have gone on the SHIB chart, the original one, you'll know that it looked kind of like this, a little bit of a smidgen like this, and then it went up a million X. So I'm just keeping my eyes out for this one. It's my meme of the cycle. I don't know for sure what it's gonna do. All I know is I've been calling it for a long time and it keeps going higher and breaking out, and now we're in price discovery. Price discovery is a good thing for everyone. All right, so this is a community picks video. Of course, it's a lot of TA, so hopefully you guys can spare with me to the end. Let me know if there's other types of videos that you guys would want me to do, some different types of content, whether it be podcast style, whether it be charting styles, whether it be educational. Let me know what you're looking for, because I want to create the content that benefits all of you the most. I'll see you guys in the next one, and don't forget to like that video, hit that subscribe so you guys don't miss out anything else that I'm doing to help you guys win in this cycle.